Hello. Um, Welcome to the channel. If you're new, thank you for watching. And if you are not new, uh, I appreciate that you're continuing to watch me as well as that's probably a very weird introduction. I I tend to hype even when I finish a video, I just try to hype myself up for the next one. And for some reason this time I'm still hyping myself up. I'm like, so hi. um I realized something while I was working on the last videos. Um, Video games. I lightly touched on video games based off of fandom related stuff, but since I'm talking about fandom related stuff, I should talk about my involvement with video games as well. So, I talked about Powerpuff Girls in one and how I watched through uh, via Cartoon Network and borrowing someone else's computer CD. I was able to play video games on Powerpuff Girls, and I was able to play uh, video games on Barbie.com a couple of years back. And then uh, afterwards, I just stopped talking about those subjects because it wasn't the main topic at hand. But I should tell you that throughout my childhood, I very much played video games. And just like in the past, video games were very expensive, so you didn't really go out searching for all the new stuff. It still is expensive, so it might be a similar thing now, but now there's very popular and there's more trendy stuff and whatnot. I um I figured I should tell you about the things that I've watched throughout or played throughout my childhood. And the big one that I hadn't talked about yet was Pajama Sam. There's multiple, basically kid games where you're playing as the character Pajama Sam that is literally blue and is wearing PJs and has to go on these like extremely imaginative adventures. And it basically feels like he's being taken into another world and he has to go on a heroic journey on how to get back home. And in this particular one, the one that stuck with me the one I watched throughout my childhood was this one where he goes into his closet because his mom was asking him to find all of his socks or clean up all his socks, and he thinks that there's a scary monster in his closet, but then he gets sucked into his closet, and basically there's like a huge house that belongs to the evil monster or the evil man that he's scared of, and he has to go fight him off in his eyes. But in reality, what happens is he goes through the whole place, exploring it, clues, trying to sneak past areas to try to get back home. And there's also a fun little thing with side quests of you could find socks in random places and try to click on them, because sometimes it's like a case where like you have to time it, so you have to have your mouse at the right spot to click on the sock in order to get it, even though realistically he couldn't get it at all, but you can. You're the player. And absolutely fun. It's one that my parents have even played multiple times, and it it keeps switching between like different phases of like where you need to go. So you play the game and then you could play a game again, and it's a different setting. 10 out of 10. I don't remember the name of the video game, and we kind of lost it to time now. But the funny thing was when my mom was playing the game, and we were excited because she found all the socks, and we had never done that before. This is years. I'm talking like like, I think 5 years by that point. And I was excited. And my mom clicks it on. We go to the laundry section, click on it, and all that happens is just that the socks go in the washer. That was it. We were so devastated. It felt like we did all that hard work just for an anticlimactic socks dumped into the washer, and it starts slightly turning, and it's very boring sound. Just phenomenal. Actually iconic. I don't know who created that's video game, but I'm sure they got a laugh out of that. And we were upset at first, but then afterwards we were able to get a laugh out of it as well, because it's like real life. So which is awesome. Then next one is Webkins Underlined. I found this cute panther plushie, and it's the first plushie I ever owned. And I bought it myself, and I almost stole it because we didn't realize that we didn't buy it yet. And then I saw the scan thingies, like, like the sides where it freaks out once it realizes you took something without permission. And I thought for some reason those things were sentient, like they somehow knew when you had those items, and I was scared of loud noises. Like it, my ears were so sensitive at the time. They got dulled out over the years, but they were so sensitive that I'd hear it in the store. Halfway through the store, I'd hear the beep because someone else made a mistake, and I'd freak out. So I'd always be scared to walk through those things, even if I was coming into the building. But the moment I realized that I was unintentionally stealing, I turned to my mom and was like, "We forgot to pay this!" And of course, as a little kid, I was also very much a goody two-shoes and was taught not to steal, so that was also a big thing. But also, I didn't want to get yelled at by the by the sides of the store. Made you feel like you were a thief, even if you weren't unintentionally doing it, which is fair on their end, but for a little kid, traumatizing. So I got one toy, and then and then I got online and got to play with the character online, and then I got another one, and then I got another creature, and then another one, another one. Got gifted a poodle, got gifted the toy of a hamster, and got upset because they didn't want the plushie, but they wanted the code for the animal itself. So I got upset because I wanted to also have the little pink hamster, and played that game for years. That's my second introduction into sort of into the internet, and I stuck with it for years. Um, then I because of that, it helped entertain me a lot, but it also made it so I didn't really explore anything else about the internet until I moved, which was in my teens. So I whole different tangent. PS2. My parents had a PS2, and they had a lot of games that they mostly saved up over the years and have mostly bought for themselves, but my mom also loved singing, so she was able to buy the two microphones and buy discs so that we could as a family play the game together as well. And there's ABBA, there's 80s, and then High School Musical. And of course, got very attached to all of them, and I kind of became an ABBA fan, but I was more so loved the songs and didn't care much about the individuals themselves, which helped curate a case of I don't understand why people are so big on up on celebrities throughout my childhood. Now I kind of get it more, but it's not. I'm also not like going to obsessed over a person. Fictional characters, totally different, but real life people, I didn't get as much, other than YouTube personalities. Now I'm starting to get into understand that more, but at the time I didn't get it, especially because you can kind of tell now some celebrities just feel fake. You can see it, but at the time you couldn't tell, and so my whole brain was just like, they're all fake, which is very unrealistic and not fair of me to judge, but you know. Then in my teen years, I started to notice my parents played Warcraft, which is based off of the PS1, but as each new console comes out, you could get games based off of the original one as well. And they still play it to this day. And I tried playing it as well and struggled and kind of dropped it. But I do plan on getting back into it eventually. I would love, if some way I could, to be able to attach a screen to it, have it play, and I could play it while like streaming or something. That would be really cool, especially with older games, because you see a lot of cool games that can't get streamed now, but with the new technology you can. Love to see that with old games. That would be really cool. Speaking of old games, uh, with PlayStation 2, new stuff came out, like that I particularly played: Spiderwick, Narnia, Lord of the Rings, and Spider-Man Friend vs. Foe. And I learned that I am very much into story-based. Uh, Again, huge pattern. I love stories, whether directing with dolls, or playing a video game, or writing a story. I Something story based I am big on. Like, you focus on one thing and you just keep continuing it. And that's what all of those were. Like Narnia, Lord of the Rings, Spiderwick, those three were big on like just repeating a story that's already been told via other media. And Spider-Man Friend vs. Foe was a bit different. It was basically a case where you played out all the all the villains and anti anti-heroes and Spider-Man as some other uh, robot. I don't know if it was like a mad scientist in the end or like aliens, but basically these robots that were controlling people, and he'd save them, and no matter which side they were on, they actually teamed up with him to try to take whoever this was down. I loved it. Then, which I genuinely, before making this video, was trying to look for them, and I think we lost all those video games, which is very sad. I would have loved to either not even just stream it, just try to replay them again, because I never finished Spiderwick. I was able to finish Narnia, I was able to finish Lord of the Rings, but not Spiderwick. And Spider-Man Friend vs. Foe multiple times. Loved that game so much. And it really helped me. It really helped my strategy gameplay, whereas the other ones felt very much like I mashed buttons. But yeah. Last thing I wrote down here that I nearly forgot filming was friend games. They weren't necessary. I wouldn't even consider them to be like gamer games, but she had a sports car game that I played a bit and actually very much enjoyed. And then there's like this video game where you pretend to be a celebrity and get to live out the celebrity life. And very unrealistic to real celebrities, but they try to make it sound cool. My throat is giving out on me, and I feel tears coming in my eyes, so I think that's a sign. Not only did I finish it all, but that's a sign for me to get going. All right. I'd love to hear any video games that throughout your childhood that grew up attached with, or it's very unique to your situation? Because some of these games I haven't heard of, some of them I have from other people. I'm gonna let you go. Bye.